Lean on in. Now welcome to the kingdom.
What's up, guys? It only took a few minutes, like 15 of them. I'm about to go live on IG. You ready, Flobo?
All right, it's my first time doing IG live, so it's gonna be fun.
What? You're an IG virgin?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna hit live, and then you just invite yourself.
Okay.
So once we get all that together, but thank you guys for patiently rocking with me, because clearly I'm just used to people doing this for me. So I'm on IG live now as well.
Okay.
I'm going to search for theflobito.com.
New content every week.
There.
Can't wait, man.
And I sent you a request. Show. What up, Leslie? I can never figure out the lighting in my room. It's absolutely terrible. Well, the lighting here looks better. The lighting on IG looks terrible, but you know. Anywho, I'm waiting for Flobo. I sent you the link.
Yeah, I got you. It's coming. It's coming. I can request you. I requested you. Does that work?
Oh yeah, I see you. You've joined.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
TK with the Bullet Club shirt. Respect.
I know, right? I'm sending you a request, Flo, but how come you're not adding me?
It says, oh, it's coming soon. Bam.
Okay, there we go.
There it is.
Hello. Well, that took forever. Yeah. That took forever. Welcome, guys. I feel like I need to put a filter on this IG one, because
okay, fans. Look, I'm not looking. It's my first time doing the IG live, so let's.
Oh yeah, and then if you have like headphones, Flobo, you want to pop those in for your phone.
Okay. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
Because that's just how we, you just don't want to do just one thing. You want to do multiple things, because
you
that's
want to do multiple things at once.
Yeah, just because that's just what I be doing.
Cool.
Okay. All right, guys. That took forever. Hey, guys. Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk News Edition.
Yeah, as I'm trying to figure out the audio on my stuff. This is all new to me, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought I had everything covered. I thought I knew what I was doing. The answer is I don't know what I'm doing.
Y'all have to start somewhere. I mean, you taught me how to, now there's flowers. This is cute. You taught me how to work StreamYard. So this is step 1. And then you get step 2 for you, which is, how to work IG Live. So what up to my IG Live folks? Now we are officially starting. I feel like I need to go back and play the audio, so you guys know what show we're talking about and how it's going. So I'm going to do that real quickly. So,
Women's Wrestling News.
That too. All right, guys. I'm going to get it together eventually. So welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk. The #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad. This is the news edition. We do this every Thursday at 4 o'clock or 4:17 or whenever we can figure it out, especially if I'm working it. But the great thing is, what I love about the news edition is that it's just kind of like we invite different people who might not be females. They might be males. They might be aliens. They might be dogs. We'll see how the show goes. And we invite different people. We talk about women's wrestling. And, it's just one of those things that we just love to do it. So I really love the concept of it. And this week, so amazing. We have one of my other brothers. Everybody's like, you have so many brothers. I know. One of my other brothers from another mother, Flobo Boyce. He is like the DJ to the wedding stars. He has a million shows. I'm going to say a couple of them: Draped in Gold, New Amsterdam Radio, What's Up Flobo Classic, What's up,
That's
Flobo After Hours.
After
I don't know what
Hours.
he's doing after hours, but it is what it is. So what
You
else?
could be on the,
are
you
you
could be in the
doing?
show, TK. You can see yourself be on the show. It's all good.
You already know. I barely have time to watch like wrestling, and I'm barely getting it together. So,
Okay.
how are you doing?
I am good. I mean, Thursdays are one of the more crazy days. Like I have Draped in Gold, and then I have the Star Trek show or whatever. But it's good, man. Be able to make content and have people enjoy it. This is what we do it for.
Yeah, this is very true. It's so for you guys who don't know, if you're just like joining us, Flobo and I we started off at AfterBuzz together, and he joined later on, and I wasn't really feeling Flobo because he was I felt like he
You
was trying
still
to
don't feel me,
Evan's place.
TK. It's cool.
Whatever. I thought he was trying to take Evan's place, and I'm very protective over my people. But eventually, he won his way into everybody's heart, and now he's part of the TK crew. So
Right.
just had to put it out there. But kind of let's get into it. So the whole thing is Liv Morgan. She's been around for about 5 years, started in NXT. So she's celebrating her 5-year anniversary. However, and the eve of her anniversary, she's actually also getting her real estate license. So like, what do you think of that? Do you think that she's preparing for like down the years, or she knows something's happening, or like should you in a career like that, like especially if you're signed to WWE, which is like the creme de la creme, should you just fully commit to that, or should you have multiple streams of income?
Man, you could commit to everything you want to, but wrestling, like any kind of sport, is very physical. You have a finite career, and there's nothing wrong with having some seeds planted after you're done. And I can tell you, the whole idea with the whole Twitch thing could be kind of hairy, so why would you go into that? Like, real estate's very old school, very safe. Just roll with that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And then the whole thing with I didn't get to read. I saw some articles about it. I didn't really get to dive into it. I know we actually talked about it last week with Paige and Twitch, and now I think there's something else going on with that where they're almost like banning a lot of wrestlers from doing that. So, like, do you know much about that? Did you get to read into it at all?
I'm reading into it. For what I've heard from Mike Rome, the idea is that, like, how if you're an actor in a movie, like Chris Hemsworth can't do Twitch streams. You can use your real name and that kind of thing. But then it really is a fine line, because I can say I'm Rebecca Quinn all I want, but when someone sees you, they go, "You're Becky Lynch." And so, and with no live shows, and I'm sure the company will be fine with that. They got to get their money somehow, and you're seeing that now. They built up their podcast network, and we're seeing a lot more digital offerings. So I can't knock them for trying to find ways to make money as a business. But then, are you really an employee? Are you an independent contractor? That's where it gets kind of hairy.
That's the problem. But we'll see. Like I feel like whatever deal Xavier has, nobody else has that deal. Like whatever they worked out, like he pretty much does his own thing. So, and it just seems like, Paige is not there all the time. So it's like, I don't understand, but
yeah, she's on the roster. She was saying that she wasn't got any appearances after her movie cycle was over with, and that's why she's sitting at home. But she gets that check, and so what else can you do?
Right, but how big is that check though? Like I'm thinking of like Alicia Fox, and she's kind of, I think she retired, but like I'm seeing her on her Instagram, and I don't know what she does. Some wrestlers you just don't know what they do on a day to day. But it's like, how big is that check for you to like just live your best life?
What's up, Johan Pena? It's enough for her not to do anything. Like that's the thing about being an employee. She can't wrestle. She can't be an on-screen character. And I know in some capacities, even if it's like a Titan Games or a wrestling-like show, it might be too close for them. So you just sit home and take that check. She's probably not getting paid a whole lot, but enough to be like, yeah, we're paying you to stay home.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, WWE, if you want to pay me to stay home, I will be more than likely to. I could just shoot out ideas.
Why would they do that, TK? Why would they say, hey, TK, here's some money to not do nothing?
Okay, so Flobo, and for folks out there who don't know, I am all about the storyline. I'm all about creating stories. I am one of the individuals who pushed the Samoan faction, which is not there yet. It's almost there. However, I mean, I have so many stories. So like the one storyline that I wish they would have done, which they obviously can't do now, is with Big Swole and her husband Cedric the Alexander, and then also their daughter. Like, that's a whole storyline in itself. So I'm really a proponent on, storylines, and I have a whole bunch of storylines, and I feel like they need Black people to tell stories because some of them are, missing the mark. So why not hire me? And then it's like, if
That's
you
not
just
what you
wanna-
said, TK. You said do nothing. You said hire me to do nothing.
Oh, well, I mean, I'll do nothing but think of storylines. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But so as I said before, for you guys who are just joining us, so Flobo and I go way back, and he often doesn't like a lot of the ideas that I pitch when we were on AfterBuzz on the Raw show, and I think you would actually like this particular story. So Selena Vega, she's actually another one of my favorites. So obviously she's married to Aleister Black, and she didn't actually want to talk about the marriage. She didn't know who put it out. Somebody actually put it out without their knowledge. And so she really didn't want to put it out there because it's going to ruin the storyline that they had. So she wanted to keep it as authentic as possible.
Sure.
So now, do you think, one, is there a storyline that Selena can do with Aleister Black? Or do you agree with her, just kind of keep it separate? Or do you think there's an eventual thing? Or I already kind of know your answer. Just because you're married, you don't have to be a part of the storyline.
You get me all wrong. You've been spreading this rumor for years. I am not opposed to husband and wives having storylines. The problem I have with you can go back to the footage. It was like, Bianca and Montez should be together because they're married. Cool. What about Charlotte and Andrade or Nikki Cross and Killian Dane? Nah, we like them. I was like, that sounds awfully chocolate to you. That's what I was saying.
No. I'm for Charlotte and Andrade, but I feel like, well, no, even before. But I feel like the people that I am pitching, there's a couple of things that are happening. One, I feel like, for instance, Naomi and the Usos, I feel like that would be a great thing because I love that. Like, for you guys who don't know, I love Naomi. I rock with Naomi. However, I just feel like she needs that extra, your personality's this. And like, so for instance, like my personality is my personality. However, if somebody could say, okay, you can choose to talk for yourself, or you can have, I do want everybody together, Wheels. You could choose to talk for yourself, or you can have Evan T. Mac talk for you. I'm going to choose Evan T. Mac, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's the same thing with Naomi. Like, she has a built-in family automatically. So I feel like there's already a storyline. Same thing with Bianca and Montez. Like, I feel like there's automatically a storyline. With Charlotte, I feel like with them, it's just like, hey, Courtney, how are you doing on IG Live? With Charlotte, I feel like with her and Andrade, like there's not a built-in storyline. And Charlotte's another person that I really like. However, I just don't feel like she has that charisma to carry the both of them. And I don't think he has the charisma to carry the both of them either. So it wouldn't work for me. That's what it means.
To answer your question, though, I think that had this been 2018, 19, yeah, I would love to see Aleister Black with Selena Vega because they have like this dark carnival vibe about them, so it can totally translate across the screen. But the problem is, in 2020 happened, and Aleister Black went from being that guy to being like, oh yeah, that guy. And Zelina Vega had one of the most dominant factions, but now she's by herself on SmackDown. So they can put them together now, but it would seem very watered down just over a year before.
Right. Yeah, I feel like it's something that they could do eventually, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it's something they could do eventually, but if they do that, I feel like they're going to take away her wrestling again, and she'll just be more of a mouthpiece. Yeah. And she's put too much skin in the game before she was even signed to WWE that I feel like I remember X-Pac was the one who said this, and I'm sure plenty of other wrestlers and, people in the industry said this. You only have so many bumps. So I feel like, do that now when you're younger before, all, stuff starts falling apart. Yeah. So speaking of stuff falling apart, I don't know if it's falling apart, but, we'll see. The Bella twins, they both had babies this summer. They were watching Raw, and Brie was saying how she, wished that they could be back in the ring again. And I already kind of know what everybody's feeling. However, do you think that there's a place for them?
Oh, I'm actually in the middle with this. Like, the Bella twins have done more than they get credit for. I'm not the biggest Bella twins fan by any stretch of the means, but like, you can't deny Total Divas or La Bellas, how they brought a whole generation of female fans into the sport. I would say you've done it all. There's no reason for you to come back. Like you won. You absolutely won. But
Right.
I can't sit there. I can't sit there and watch The Last Ride about a guy who quit like 5 times in The Undertaker and be like, Bellas, you can't try, you can't try, you can't try. If they want to come back, they've earned a spot. Why not? They're Hall of Famers now.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah, but the difference with Undertaker is the difference with Undertaker. That part. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I don't even want to say it because I really do. The Bellas was part of the reason why I got back into like watching wrestling again as well. So, you know, I love what they've done for the sport. However, it's like, man, I forgot what interview it was because we've done so many, but I feel like it's just kind of like it would be like somebody from the football era, like in the 50s or 60s, playing with the football players of today. Like
I agree. If it was me, if I had the control of the book, I would say, Nikki, Brie, come on back, manage some people, have captains of teams in Saudi Arabia, have a Survivor Series team, be involved in that, and take a bump every so often, you know, do a super kick for the fans, but I would not have them on the road again. They don't have to be there.
Yeah, and I feel like the caliber is just it's totally different now. I think it might have been an interview. I think it might have been a Mickey James interview, or it was even speaking of the Bellas, it was Daniel Bryan. He was actually talking about how, you know, the game is changing now. He's like the old guy in the locker room. Not necessarily he can't keep up, but you know, there's such a wealth of talent, and I don't know. I don't see it. I would like to see it, but I can imagine different stories, but for some reason I can't see where they would be, even if they were like to manage people. Like I can't see it. And on top of that, I know that they're moms too, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean that you're absolutely right, and it's weird for live performance. I won't say weird. It's kind of the reason why we do what we do. That instant feedback, actors, stand-up comedians in my case, live DJs. You can walk out on a gig where you're sore and you have plans of retirement and say you're done. But to have fans on every word of your storytelling or cheering, it really is a drug. And you can hear how many creatives cried when the whole world shut down this year because it was an instant break. So I get them having the drive to do it. But for your body's sake, you don't got to do it.
Yeah, I honestly think, I mean, it was one of those stories where I saw where it's just like, oh yeah, I love my wrestling publications and I love seeing the stories, but it's like one of those things where it's just like you can't put anything on social media now. It's like I don't think she really wants to come back, but you kind of miss it. And I think that's what it is. I don't think they would make a play to come back to WWE in that capacity, but you know, you never know. Another one of you never know. Another one. This is kind of heartbreaking. Not heartbreaking, but you know, these two people I actually really, really love and adore, and they have really incredible backstories on how they got into the industry. So it's actually Thunder Rosa and Ivelisse. So apparently, according to some of these blogs, and Thunder Rosa was on this radio show where there's kind of a beef going between them, and they're pretty much saying that, you know, Ivelisse had an issue with Thunder Rosa and stuff like that. And it's just kind of one of those things where I'm not up for speculation. It's just more of, I hope that it gets sorted out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, look, I don't want to speculate either, but I can see when you have two different athletes on such different trajectories in their careers having this connection. If you're Ivelisse, you may have heard Thunder Rosa is the truth. Thunder Rosa has about half as much experience of you in the ring. And if you're Thunder Rosa, people are saying you're not on a certain level until you face someone like Ivelisse. That's what happens when you train as hard as you want to be. You eat right. You know what I'm saying? You put down that donut and you hit the gym. When you meet someone that's on your level that pushes you, of course, tensions are going to fly, man. Like how you hated me when I showed up being a host at AfterBuzz.
Wow. Okay. No, I definitely agree. I think it has to do with, you know, what people are saying. That happened to Ivelisse as well when she was at Tough Enough. You guys should really go back and watch her interview with us because it was really one of those, like, yeah, I definitely agree, Wheels 5 Stud. Like, I love the both of them, but I fell in love with Ivelisse's story and how she came to America and she, like, fought for the dream of wrestling and all that stuff. And I will always, like, she's on that same level as, you know, Trinity and Naomi to me. Like, I love the fact that, you know, you put it all on the line, and her passion for the sport. And the same thing with Thunder Rosa, like how she came to the country, how she started in the sport, and, you know, just her rise, and, you know, her committing everything with, you know, Mission Pro Wrestling and all that stuff. And she's just an amazing personality. So I love the both of them. And I feel like just reading the story and stuff like that, it's just more of like back chatter and people telling them certain things versus them actually having a beef. So hopefully that's not the case. I am going to reach out to both of them and kind of, you know, find out behind the scenes if there's an issue.
Oh, can I get an autograph, man, please? All right.
Whatever.
And you can reach out to them both. I can't ask for an autograph, TK.
I mean, all it has to do is just say, you know, hitting up on the DM. However, you know that I'm not even gonna tell you guys the secret, but there is a secret. I'll tell you the secret after the show. After the show, I can't tell you the secret because if I tell you guys now, then you guys are gonna do it, and then this person's gonna be like, "Why did you tell them?" And then it's just gonna be all a bad thing. Now, another bad thing. This is kind of really sad news. Kylie Ray, she also was on the show. Really amazing individual. I think she was. You have to go back and I'm telling you guys to go and watch the interview, but I need to go and watch the interview too. I think she was either on her way to her master's degree. Like she was whizzing through school, and there was an issue. She got signed to AEW, and then she, I guess for lack of a better word, quit. And then it's the same thing with Impact. She was up for a match, and she just didn't show up. And then on her social media, she pretty much said that she is retiring from pro wrestling. Yeah. And she's not like, I don't want to be an ageist, but she's like super young. Like she's a baby. And so I really hope that everything is is okay with her. It felt like through her posts, there might be a touch of mental issues. I don't know. But this year for everybody has been crazy. So we don't know what's going on with her or her family, etc. So, you know, I hope everything is okay. However, what she did, meaning that she left AEW and then she got another opportunity with Impact, which are two major promotions. And then she didn't show up for Impact. And, you know, now she's retired, or now she said she's retiring. Do you think the way she went about it was like incorrect, or, you know, what do you think?
It's hard to say that because if it's a situation where she saw it coming and she did that, sure. But and as somebody who set up a Patreon, is to say, look, I'm sorry, man, I'm cutting this off. That tells me that something supersedes the normal, whether it's mental health issues or family issues. I don't want to speculate because I'm not really informed in that thing. But if it turns out to be something along those lines, she takes the time to really figure things out, maybe a year or two from now, I don't think any talent would turn away someone at that skill level at her age, because she is like, what, 26? She has a lot of mileage left. And if she came back at 28, refreshed, willing to put the grind in there, she'll probably be a top pick. Yeah. So I hope everything is okay with her. And, you know, that's all we can. I was going to reach out to her prior to her announcing that, you know, she's no longer going to be, you know, wrestling anymore. But I feel like, you know, we'll just give it some time, and some people don't want to talk about it. So, you know, I hope her all the best. And, you know, I hope she's going to be able to, you know, figure it out and get some help if she needs help, or, you know, family situation, etc. So Wheels 5 Stud is asking, did you guys hear about Allison Kay? I haven't heard of. Did you hear anything about Allison Kay? I did not.
So I know. I don't know either. So there's just I'll Google search as I'm asking theflobo.com this next question. What's your favorite storyline that's going on?
Man, look, man, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. People are going to hate this, but I'm loving the Xia Li storyline on NXT. When it comes to the mystery letters, the Chinese writings, like the dishonoring her family and trying to win, for two reasons. The first reason is Xia Li is finally getting something to work with. She's been on that roster for about a year and a half, and she just shows up. She has matches. She wins. She loses. She goes away. And I also love mysteries in wrestling. But more importantly, NXT has so much depth. They're doing a women's undercard story. You're talking about the evolution. Talking about giving women space. On NXT last night, there were 3 women's matches. One involving Dakota Kai and Ember Moon. One involving Story Angle with Shotzi Blackheart. It was, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You had Dakota Kai, Dakota Kai, Ember Moon. You had Shotzi Blackheart with Tony Storm and the Candice LeRae tank destruction happening, and you have Xia Li storyline. So to have so many female talents, you can have storylines not revolving around the title, revolve around personal growth, character beats. That is what NXT is the best thing about it. So I love it. I want to know what's happening with Xia Li every week. I tune into NXT just for that. To be honest with you.
So Will, you should have typed that before so I could have not been looking on my laptop. But apparently, Alison Kay's her NWA contract is expired. That's news, but it could be just that she's ready to move on. She's been in the game for a long time, and she's also been on the show too. Amazing woman. She shows all her costumes, all her ring gear. Sorry. Yeah, she sells all her ring gear, and she's like a super vegan. Like, she has an interesting story too, and I believe she's a teacher as well. But don't quote me on that last part. But yeah, we'll see. I think there's aside from WWE, all the other promotions, I feel like there's so much movement involved. Like, you can kind of float between them as long as you have a good working relationship with everybody. So. We'll see. She is a really amazing individual. She's been in the game for a long, long time. So, we'll see where she lands, and hopefully it's nothing crazy, because I know there was some issues. I think it was with her in Impact a while ago. But we'll see what happens with that.
Well,
what do you think of? What are you gonna say?
I hope it's not a bad thing about NWA. A lot of their talent has been out of contract. So I hope that it's not a sign for that side.
Yeah, but we'll see, because some promotions and some, even like if you look just into sports and how they have kind of developed a new normal with COVID and everything like that. So we'll just kind of see how it might be that. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens to Alison Kane, but I hope she's good and in good health and good spirits, all that great stuff. Now, what do you think of? So this was my first time watching Ember Moon on NXT, and not my first time, but her first time back, I should say.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely loved her first go round, and I feel like when she got moved up to the main roster, she kind of floundered. They not she floundered, but they floundered as far as putting her in the right place. So I love her new look, and I feel like I didn't connect with her as much with her on the main roster, but I'm connecting with her now, like wondering, okay, well, what's happening? What are you going to do? Where are you going to end up? Stuff like that, opposed to the main roster. So now, do you think that NXT is offering more of a storyline for people like Ember Moon and, oh my God, I can think of his name, but I can't think of his name. But other folks who went for the main roster back down to NXT.
Like Killian Dane and
Finn Balor
and all that. Oh,
yeah.
Finn Balor. Well, I mean, you could tell Finn Balor's protected. I mean, he got his jaw broken, and NXT is booking the whole show around him. No one's mentioned the NXT title forever. There's a curious case about Ember Moon. My colleague Jack Farmer and I talk about this on Draped in Gold. She came back with these promos, these vignettes. I'm like, okay, great. But the night when she came back, Tony Storm came back 30 seconds before.
Right.
It kind of showed her up. And so now we have this match, which was great last night, but I'm like, I wonder what it is. So I think they're still working out what Ember Moon 2.0 is. I'm not sure what Ember Laws is. I like the gear upgrade. I like the fact she's more aggressive in the ring to show a different side of her. But character-wise, I think she's missing one giant beat to make everything come together. But I like her better in NXT. She was the war goddess. She held the title when Asuka had to give it up, and she handled it for herself pretty well. I just hope it translates in NXT the second go around.
So do you think she needs like a mouthpiece, like an Evan T. Mack maybe?
Ah, man, don't put me on a spot. Evan can make anybody. Don't. Why not? You know what? Her promos don't seem believable to me personally. Like I when she says Ember's Law, I felt like someone said, "Hey, yo, say this." You know what I mean? I really wish that for all the characters in wrestling today, that is someone you have to say, here's what you got to hit. You got a match against Tony Storm. Just be yourself, and we'll book around you. Right. It just seems she's trying to fit into a character that isn't. She had a motorcycle one week. She didn't have a motorcycle one week. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what is this Ember Moon? But yeah, if Evan Mack he can talk to anybody. He tried to do a promo on Paul Heyman. He did a promo with Robert Stone. Evan's untouchable.
Yeah, it just yeah, I definitely agree with you. That's why I'm in seeing her yesterday. It's the hopes of like, hey, like I hope this go round like makes sense, because she's an incredible talent. But I mean, there's certain things like I go back to Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
And I go back to his interview on Xbox show. We went and helped. I was on Xbox show for you guys who don't know, and he was interviewing him, and he was talking about how John Cena used to talk to himself in the mirror, like cutting promos. And I feel like even John Cena, like some people, John Cena's good, but some people just have it naturally. Like John Cena put in that work to get to where he is. And then some people have it naturally, and even if you have it naturally, you still put in the work. But no matter what, like there can only be one Jordan, one Kobe, one LeBron. Like there's only one, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like with people like, and pretty much what I'm trying to say is that even if she does do the talk and she does do the mic skill, like sure, it's just not. I don't foresee it being great, and I think she needs that part. Like that's I personally think that's the era we are in today, meaning that. Like you have to have it all, and if you don't have it all, you either work for it and you like fake it until you make it, or you partner yourself or you align yourself with somebody else. Like if you look at New Day and how they came about, imagine if New Day never came together, and I think Xavier said in his speech, he's like, if this ever happened, I probably wouldn't be with WWE anymore. So it's just kind of like what. I think you have to align yourself with people or a storyline that makes sense, or you work 10 times, 100 times harder to make it to like get those skills. Because if you have it in the ring, that's great. So
I agree with you. As a pro tip, I talk to myself about 2 hours a day. I make a point to say all of my promos, all of my intros, all of my jokes, 2 hours a day out loud. My neighbors probably hate me because that's how you get good, especially being in by yourself all the time. So you can drill, and I think John Cena was good and he became great. But if you want to do that for Ember Moon, you got to give her chances in promos. You just can't have her be. Well, if you actually, I take it back. She could be a silent warrior. She has the build for it. She can be that person that shows up, beats the brakes over people, then leave. But you can't say Ember's Law. That is not going to get over.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the chat, they asked me, what do I think of the AEW division? I think it's coming along. I think it's coming along. I feel like, and I'm sure if I played video games, this exists. I feel like we should, for female wrestlers, we should just scrap all the promotions and they should be able to go wherever as far as storylines, like interchange. And I know that's like a total pipe dream. Like that's just not how, business works. But like, for instance, again, like I said, I love Trinity, but they're not using her. So then she could have, do a storyline for Impact. You know what I'm saying? Or she could do a storyline for AEW, which obviously won't happen. But I feel like there are some women who, one, they're sitting on the sidelines, either because they're injured, or two, they're sitting on the sidelines because nobody's kind of giving them a chance, or they haven't figured out that storyline. And it's like you're wasting great talent. Like I feel like even though Jimmy, yes, even though Jimmy was out on an injury, like they could have still. I'm still pushing for the Samoan faction. I mean, they could have still did other things, and I hope that they do. But
Well, so let me ask a question though. Like, do you rank then the women's divisions? Like, what is your ranking? AEW, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Impact. Like, do you have a top three, a favorite one? Like, what's appealing to you?
That's hard because I rank them differently. So, for instance, I finally found Impact. So, like, thank you, Jesus. I finally found Impact on. I think it's like this. There's an Impact app on my Amazon Flash Drive, whatever it is, Fire Stick, and I watched it. It's still great. Like their storylines are great, and some of them are a little outlandish, but it's wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's the right word's not believable, but because it's outlandish, it's believable. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like they
sure.
they carry it over the line. Whereas sometimes with storylines for WWE, it's like they're trying to be too much of themselves, and being too much of yourself is not working. Like you as a person is just not entertaining. So you need to scrap that and then do something else. It's kind of one of those things. So I feel like, and then usually when that happens, down the line, that person gets cut anyway.
Okay. So your Impact then. You're an Impact gal.
I'm Impact for storyline. I'm WWE for looks. And I am AEW for potential. Like,
Okay. Cool.
I feel like if you were to stop WWE where it's at now and allow AEW to, you know, kind of work out their kinks and their storylines and just kind of have the layers of the years, I think that because AEW is a little bit more of a purist, that their storylines and their amazing moments might lean over to AEW.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I just kind of feel like they're WWE because, and that happens to anything that gets big and anything that is number one. Like the balance between the love of the sport and the business, it's sometimes like it comes out of whack, and it's more of the business because it's the business that's able to pay the wrestlers and to pay the camera people and to pay everything else. And if you go towards more of the purists, then, you know, now you're doing, you know, wrestling in somebody's backyard, and people are
Right.
why it's not, you know, to this level. So,
Right.
you know, I think each promotion and even the indies play its role. And I think people really need to appreciate that. Like, I'm definitely one who complains about storylines. I mean, I think that's what we're supposed to do. But I think people really need to appreciate the differences of it. And, you know, for the people who are like super indie, appreciate that, you know, WWE is here for a reason. And there are people who get introduced to wrestling because of WWE, and then they learn about indie folks. So, you know, it just, you know,
Right.
just appreciate the different promotions for what they are versus saying, oh, well, this one's better because, you know, Moxley left and, you know, he's with AEW now. It's like, okay, that's great.
Right.
But no,
Right.
there's,
Yeah.
you know, there's more ways to skin, there's a lot of ways to skin the cat. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But it's skin the cat.
I was with it. I'm convinced.
So yeah. Any other storylines that you really like?
Seriously, it's anything with NXTs, both of them, the NXT UK storylines. Like, you know, after AfterBuzz, we could have sit there and recap all the shows, but
Right.
NXT is the really show that I really watch. You know, I love the women's division in the UK. You got Kaylee Ray, this like cerebral person up top, and everyone's trying to vie for her on that side. AEW was kind of weird because you had Hikaru Shida, who was like this people's champion, but they kind of like hot-shotted Nyla Rose again overnight.
Right.
At the same time, the NWA women's title is there, but the NWA women's title is more important than the AEW women's title. So
Yeah,
like
very
AEW's like divisions kind of fractured, which is why I want your opinion on it because it was
Right.
weird. But I'm on it because I like Shida. I think Shida is really the first workhorse champion, gender aside, in that company. That when it came out every single week, had
Right.
a match, you know, beat people up and kept it moving. So.
Yeah.
So I guess NXT, NXT UK, AEW.
Okay. What do you think of? Oh, I don't know if you watch this, but I'm sure you do. Of the Rey Mysterio storyline.
Okay, so I
Uh-oh.
don't hate it. I don't hate it because people
Oh,
are like, oh, I
God.
can't stand it. It's stupid, whatever. But and people get upset about this because wrestling fans don't know what we want, right? A year ago, we were saying, "Oh man, these storylines are coming fast and hard. We want long-term storytelling." Well, this storyline's like
Right.
6 months long, and the people
Right.
can't stand it no more. I think it's fine. I think them having a war, the Messiah versus a family who has the religious undertones, I think it
Right.
worked. It was just stretched long, but I got off the bus when they brought in the Aaliyah thing. Like, Aaliyah's 19 years old and looks way younger. You can't put the Romeo and Juliet stuff at the end of everything. The war has already happened. Mysterio and Dominic won. This should have been over. Why put the Aaliyah stuff now at the end? Like, they got to save Aaliyah now? Like, it's a step back. It really is a step back for female
You
on-screen
think so?
characters. I think so because now Rey Mysterio and Dominic is going to try to save Aaliyah from the clutches of Murphy, and if they don't do that, that means Murphy has totally captured Aaliyah. It makes no one.
Yeah, but
good.
what if now Murphy, like the whole thing with him is that he's turned over a new leaf and now he becomes part of the family.
But Murphy's still in his mid-30s, and Aaliyah's 19, so I don't feel good about it.
Oh well, I mean, yes, you don't feel good about that, but just that.
If that happened, I think it's fine. I think the reason why we're all bitter about it is that it happened in month 7. Once Rey Mysterio lost an eye, it should have been over, right? In theory.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was I watched it on I think Monday or something like that. I watched a lot of wrestling over the last 2 days, but I do like it, but again, I haven't been like you. I took a break from watching wrestling, and I just got back into it in September. So this is not. So it's like a new. It's still fresh for me. So yeah, I feel like I need to do that at least once a year. Like take a month or 2 off, and just like reset. But it's like soap operas where you can just pick up and you don't have to watch everything.
You know what? I'm gonna sound like Batman here because I was ready to quit AfterBuzz in August anyway. And when it canceled in July, when it went on hiatus in July, I was like, do I should probably just quit wrestling, stop watching it or whatever. But then people were sliding up in the DMs like, yo, where's the Raw after show? Where's the Raw? I owned it,
Yeah.
And I fought it for a long time, but then I was like, let me just do my own NXT show. So I never had that break. But it's been 7 years in a row now without a break. So props to you for jumping off the train and getting a fresh pair of eyes.
Well, I mean, I think I did that the whole time. I've done that the whole time where it's like, yeah, this is not happening this week. But I feel like I did get a lot of DMs about the show, about Women's Wrestling Weekly, now Women's Wrestling Talk, which is what you guys are watching now. And I love the concept of the show, and I love the fact that we, give a platform to female wrestlers who are not just signed to major promotions, but who are just starting out or who've been in the game for a long time, or there's so many different variations, and I'm sure that's the same thing on the men's side. But I mean, obviously, women are awesome, and it's nice to also give that platform to minorities because a lot of now it's the in thing, and we had women of color on our show from the very beginning, and we were asking those questions. And I feel like it's all the women's wrestling shows that I'm familiar with. Every one of them is very uniquely different. And I think because of the host that we have on the show and the host that we've had on the show, and then the experience, and then even the connection with AfterBuzz, it kind of provided us something totally different from other shows. And so that's kind of really why I wanted to continue it. And I was on the same boat as you. It was like, should I continue this? Because it was like, booking people and, doing all this stuff is just a lot of work. But I also see the benefit in it. So, I'm very appreciative of the folks who hit me up, and I'm appreciative of the folks who, helped to, bring it back to life, and I'm appreciative of the folks who are watching and telling their friends to watch, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, it's been a great ride, and there's so many great things. Like even this live thing wouldn't have happened if we were still, at the other network. So there's just so many different variations and options now, and we've kind of carved out our own little niche versus, what everybody else is doing. So that's good.
True.
So hi, hello, what up? Flo, you came at the tail end. We're about to be finished, but you can watch it all back. So the great thing about IG Live and Facebook Live and YouTube Live and Twitch Live, all that good stuff, you can watch it back. And we're in the process of doing a whole website. You can watch that whole stuff. And every Thursday at 4:00. Yeah, we're big. Wow. You kind of know me. I don't do things on a small level. We getting big time. We have the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. So why not? So you can watch all this back if you're just joining us. But for you guys who are just joining us and you're like, what the hell's going on? This is Women's Wrestling Talk. Every Thursday at 4:00, we do, we just talk news with, somebody that we know or don't know who just happens to also like wrestling. And this time I actually know Flobo. And and it's not always going to be me. It's going to be either Sarah or Emily that's in the show as well. So also every Tuesday we have our interviews, and Sarah's gonna kill me because I don't know who's coming up next Tuesday. It's somebody though, I know that for sure. So every Tuesday,
Sarah's gonna kill
look,
you.
look, I just show up. I do everything I need to do, and then the other stuff I just show up. So next Tuesday there is somebody gonna be on. I just don't know who it is gonna be. And yeah, definitely. And then we also have for the news next week though, another AfterBuzzer or former AfterBuzzer, Leslie's gonna be on for the news next week. So
La profesora Leslie Colon is gonna be on your show?
yes, she's gonna be on next week. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Flobito.com, where can everybody find you?
Man, you heard it right there. Flobito.com, new content every week at Flobo Boyce on social media. It's over there on the StreamYard. It has a link, and I'm just pointing around the IG Live. And website, newamsterdam.com, KNEWamsterdam.com. Get to know of all the shows I'm working on these days.
And don't you have like a billion shirts too?
Yeah, you can support the homie and buy a t-shirt over at flobito.threadless.com. I got a holiday shirt coming up soon, man. Stick out for that. It's going to be dope.
You said you have a Halloween shirt?
Holiday.
Oh, I think so. Halloween. Like, we're past that. Yeah, so definitely go and support Flobo. He has a bunch of shows. If you look through all his shows, you're going to find one of them you like. So definitely go and check all of that out. For us, you could check out all our social media, which is WW Talk on IG and WW Talk Pod on Twitter. And we also have a really great Facebook page at WW Talk as well. And like I said, the website is coming. My name is TK Trinidad. You can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. And that is it for today. I know I do need a shirt. That's coming. I honestly just don't think you guys will buy the shirt. I don't know if you guys like. I just don't think you guys like me that much.
Do it anyway.
I don't feel like. I know, right? I don't feel like. Well, true. I'll just like that one person who buys a shirt. I don't know what I'm gonna say. So maybe that's the thing. If you guys think I need a shirt, then tell me what to put on the shirt, and then the shirt will be created. How about that? I'll make it happen. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us, and really appreciate your support, and to be continued. So like this is like complicated because like I said, I like to do everything like a whole bunch of times. So I'm ending IG Live. Make sure you save that mug because that's a whole fit situation in itself. There we go. And here we are just on the StreamYard broadcast. Like I said, thank you, Flobito.
Yeah.
And yeah, keep following us, keep following him because that's just what we do.
Appreciate it, y'all.
Ciao, guys.